Hello friends. Welcome along to this full Vinyasa flow practice for self-compassion. My name's Verity and today we're going to be working on strengthening the back of your body so that we can gradually open up the front side of your body a little more, particularly around that heart center and that chest. I invite you, as always, to meet yourself where you are today. See if you can come at your practice with that curiosity and that compassion. Notice when those little judgments or expectations pop up in your head and see if you could offer a little bit more encouragement. Notice if you need to just take a pause, take a break. This is totally your practice, so make it your own. Welcome along, friends. We're going to start on our back today. If you would like to come on down, either laying perhaps with your legs out straight, or if you know that your lower back is going to tend to get a little bit sore with that, you could put your feet wide, knock the knees in together and settle into a constructive rest. So either of those could be nice options to try. And then just as you're arriving, just welcoming yourself here onto your mat by noticing the physical touch points, the physical points of contact between your body and the surfaces below you. Maybe you can feel the textures underneath your skin. And then perhaps you're moving that awareness onto the sounds in your environment. And just allowing the different sounds to come and go through your awareness. And then from those external senses, perhaps coming back to the feeling of your body and just beginning to notice your body breathing by itself. So noticing there's nothing you need to do for this natural intelligence of your body to just keep you alive, keep you vital. You can just observe your breath. Maybe you take stock of whether your breath feels a little bit more shallow or a little fuller and deeper today. Again, you don't have to change it, but maybe just see what's there. What's the natural landscape of your breath today, right at this point of the day. And then perhaps as you're tuning into your breath, you might notice other sensations in your body. Maybe the temperature of your body, perhaps your heartbeat, any other little aches, niggles, tightness or stiffness that's present. And reminding yourself there's nothing here to be judged. And we're really just inviting in this curiosity of our current experience, welcoming all parts of ourselves to the mat and using this as helpful, interesting information to inform our practice today. And as we settle here, we're arriving into the present moment. You may like to bring to mind a particular intention and set this intention for your practice today. So there could be something in your mind that's what you really want to cultivate, how you want to feel throughout your practice. Or if you'd like, you could join our collective intention today. I am treating myself with compassion. So repeating your intention there 3 times to yourself. And then we're going to gradually make a little movement into the fingers and toes. We're going to bring the hands out into cactus arms. So you've got bend at the elbow, arms are nice and wide to the sides. Take a bend in your knees so your feet come down to the mat. Take them out wide so they might be at the width of your mat. Knees point up to the ceiling. And we'll just take a breath in here. As you exhale, lower your knees to the left side, taking like a little windscreen wiper of the knees. As you inhale, come back up to center. And exhale over to the other side. Just going to take another 2 to each side. So just take it at your own pace. Follow your breath. Exhales allow the knees just to go to one side. And the inhales allow you to come back to center. You can even bring in a little bit of awakening for your neck. Perhaps as your knees go to one side, your head turns to the opposite direction. And no rush. Next time your knees come back into the middle, into center, we will tuck them in towards your chest. So you're just holding lightly on top of your knees, maybe taking a little rock side to side, see what feels good. And then repositioning your hands around underneath your knees, either to hold the knee creases or clasping the fingers. And we'll take a little rock and roll forward and back. So just bringing yourself a little bit back to childhood here. There's no perfect way to go, but it might help you to flick the feet overhead a little when you rock back, and then tuck your knees in round your shoulders. Use your core strength when you're rolling forward. A little massage up your spine, and eventually we will come up all the way to seated. So take your time to find your way up. You can always just roll to the side if that doesn't feel for you. And then straighten out your right leg, left foot just inside your inner leg. Maybe pull a little flesh away from under your buttocks, ground yourself down. And as you breathe in, stretch your arms up to the sky. You may like to dorsiflex your right toes up as well. Exhale, fold forward into Janushirshasana. One-legged forward fold. Notice you could decide to have a little bend in your front knee. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Usually if your lower back's a bit sensitive, the knee bend is a little bit helpful there. And then just settling into your breath. And taking one more. And as you're ready to inhale, we'll stretch the arms up high to the sky. Keep the right arm up. Just take your left hand down beside your left hip or your left buttock. We'll push into that left palm, sweep up the right arm and come onto the knee. So you're pushing your hips forward, you're squeezing your glutes, and you're opening up that heart space a little bit here. And notice when you open your heart, you want to be strengthening your lower body, strengthening your buttocks. We'll lower it back down towards the floor, little swivel around to take your left foot out in front, right foot just inside the leg. Maybe dorsiflex that front left foot, maybe you pull a little flesh away from under your buttocks. And as you inhale, sweep your arms up high. Exhale, fold forward, reaching as far as you can, and then eventually just sort of surrendering down so your hands are resting comfortably. You don't have to strive and pull your way into it. Just bringing that little softness. And just for 2 more breaths. And as you're ready to inhale, rise back up, arms up to the sky. We'll keep the left arm up, take your right hand down beside your right buttock and lift on up onto the right knee. And as you push down away from the floor, you might gaze up to that top left hand. You might point through your left toe to give yourself a little extra pivoting space. Push your hips forward by squeezing your buttocks. And take a last breath there. And eventually roll on back down towards the ground. We're going to bend the knees out and take the feet to one side. Come around onto your hands and knees into your tabletop position. Plant firmly through those hands, and as you inhale, lower your belly, roll open your heart for your cow stretch. As you exhale, round the back of your body, bring your chin to your chest, push the floor away, and continue to flow like that. So each inhale, you're rolling open through the front of your body. Feel your shoulders sort of move to adjust, make space, and then exhale, rounding each time, back of your body, pushing down through the earth. You can make this as big or small as you like, so just really inviting that kindness and compassion for your own body today. Notice what it needs. Maybe it's really small. And you could stay just with your regular cat-cow, or you can move into a little wild cat-cow. So you can really start to just move however you please. Could be sort of completely random and asymmetrical movements. Could be holding in different little juicy corners that feel really nice to stay. Circling, swishing your hips. And this is a real nice moment to invite in this freedom and ability of our yoga practice to be what we need it to be. So this bit, you really want to invite in a little bit of curiosity. Where does it feel good to take a little stretch into, and how fast, slow, big, small do you want to make it? Perhaps just one more final breath. And eventually land back down into your regular neutral spine. We're going to step the hands forward just one handprint or so. Tuck your toes, and we're coming back to downward facing dog. So spread through the fingers, lift your hips up and back. And once you're here, you may like to pedal out the feet. So bending one foot at a time, spreading out through your fingers, your palms. Maybe you're even letting your hips wiggle a little bit as you pedal your feet. Letting your head and neck be soft between your shoulders. And if you notice you're really crunched up with your elbows, or not your elbows, your upper arms next to your neck, you can always widen your grip or widen your hands on the ground a little. Eventually you might come to stillness. Lift up your tippy toes so that you feel your hips coming even higher to the sky, and then try to sink your heels, and as you do so, press your buttocks to the back of the room. From here, start to gradually tippy-toe up to the very top of your mat. Coming into Uttanasana, your forward fold. So we'll take a little hang here, a little pause. Maybe soften your head, maybe you rock or shake it. Maybe you clasp opposite elbows. Take a little swing. And either just stay with that. This might feel really nice. We're not trying to sort of force our body to do anything crazy here, just finding a little release on the back of the body. But another option you could try would be to interlace your fingers and stretch your arms overhead, getting a little extra shoulder stretch, still allowing your head and neck just to sort of relax down. A last breath there. And then gradually we're coming up to stand. You might like to come up through a little flat back position, so you're opening your heart, pressing through the feet, and eventually sweep your arms up into the sky. You might connect your palms, squeeze through your quads, not your cods. Dig in through the feet and bring your palms into your chest. Nice. Take a pause here. Thumbs connecting with your heart center. And you might bring yourself back to that intention. I am treating myself with compassion. And allow yourself to relax the hands down by your side. Palms could face forward. Shoulders could roll back and down. Find that nice mountain pose. Settling in here for a breath or two. And then as you're ready to inhale, let's sweep the hands up high to the sky. Connect the palms, exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to plank. And we'll take a breath in, just to hold here. Maybe you've got the knees up, maybe they are down. Keep looking ahead of your hands. You might like to lower your knees, especially the first round, possibly through the whole rest of the day. Keep the elbows hugging into your side waist as we're going to make our way to the floor. So taking it nice and slow, or maybe a little faster if it feels too hard to go slow. Untuck your toes at the bottom. Bring your hands out nice and wide for some wide cobras today. Keep the elbows pointing up, finger pads down. Squeeze your butt, push your hips down and point your toes. Inhale, roll and ripple up for a wide cobra. Exhale, lower back down. 2 more times at your pace. Allowing your head to follow and ripple with the rest of your spine. After that last one, let your arms come back down beside you, back of your hands point down, toes still pointing a lot, squeezing up your legs, squeezing your butt cheeks both together and pushing them down to the floor. And then hover up for locust pose, hands lift, hearts lifting up, lifting those toes and squeezing everything into the center line. So you're hugging your shoulder blades together, hugging your thighs in together. And then thinking about the length of your spine, not so much how high you lift, how much you draw long from the crown of your head to the tip of your toes. See if you might take 2 breaths. Always the option to come out early, treating yourself, your body with compassion at all times. Do what you need to do. And when you're ready to exhale next, lower back down. Take a little pause. You might turn a head to rest a cheek. Let the body relax. And then slide your hands in right next to your chest. Tuck your toes. Back through a little active child's pose perhaps. And then all the way up to downward facing dog. We'll take a breath here in downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your heels, tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat, Uttanasana. Could be little steps if you prefer. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your hands up high to the sky. Connect your palms, exhale down into center. And we'll flow again. Inhale, sweep the hands up to the sky. Connect the palms, exhale, flow through center to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, fingertips just up the front of your legs. Exhale, bend your knees, step back to plank. And again, remember knees or toes, wherever you can keep the integrity of your spine, keep engaging your core, tucking the tailbone under. As you exhale, knees or toes, but make sure that your chest is leading you down. You're staying like a plank of wood on the way to the floor. Untuck your toes, wide cobra today as you inhale. Roll open the heart, just the one this time. Exhale, take it down and sweep it back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your hands up high to the sky. Connect your palms, exhale down into your heart center. One more round like this. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold through center, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to plank. Plant your hands, step it back. One breath in, squeeze the butt, push the floor away to protract your shoulders, dome that space between your shoulder blades. Exhale, lower with control. Elbows hug into your side body. Inhale, untuck your toes, roll open to your cobra of choice. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. And take a breath. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your hands up high to the sky. Connect your palms, exhale down into center. We'll take a little pause in mountain pose. Just allow yourself to settle, just feel what you can feel. How is your body responding to this bit of heat, this bit of movement that we're building? Can you feel your heartbeat, the rhythm of your breath? Is it a little bit elevated? Taking the last 2 breaths. As you inhale next, sweep your hands up high to the sky. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to downward facing dog this time. Step your feet back. Nice long spine and lower your knees here. Let's find a tabletop position. So bring the hands straight underneath your shoulders. As you inhale next, let's find tiger pose. We're going to point up the right toes to the ceiling, bend your right knee and really lift up so you're using your glutes to try and pull that right knee up a little. From here, bring a bit of weight into your right hand. See if your left hands could come a little bit lighter. Maybe you're going to hover it. Maybe you could look over the left shoulder and reach back. Possibly you could bend your right knee a bit more, try to catch the outside of your right foot and then kick the foot into the hand. Open up into this little back bending, heart opening shape. Keep the neck nice and long wherever you need to gaze to be comfortable. Notice if you're slouching down into your right shoulder, keep pushing away the floor. One last breath. Carefully release that foot. Draw your right knee into your nose as you place the hand down and take the right foot up to the top of your mat into a lunge. You can bring that foot around the front hand if you need. We'll lift up the back knee, step in a little bit and plant the foot. Warrior 1, rise on up. And see how you go. As you arrive, if you need to reset your feet, you want your hips to face forward for Warrior 1. So your right toes are straight to the front. Your back toes are sort of diagonally forward. Swivel the left hip forward. Draw the right hip back. Option for the arms to be up if that feels okay for your shoulders. And as you grip and spread the toes into the ground, gain a little more energy from the earth and then draw it up through the fingertips as you inhale. Exhale, cactus arms, elbows squeeze back and down a little. Inhale, straight back up again. Again, exhale, cactus the arms, bring them out nice and wide. Inhale, one more time up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Now the breath this time just to stay. Exhale, release your hands to your lower back, interlace your fingers, roll open your heart, inhale, shoulders are coming back and down. Exhale, humble warrior, lead with your heart as you melt down inside your front knee. Legs are really staying firm, just exactly as they were, but let your head, your neck, your chest just surrender down inside this knee slightly. Hands might be coming up off the lower back, or if your shoulders are a little tighter, maybe your hands stay down. And just take one more breath here. And as you're ready to exhale, release your hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. And we're going to take it on to the other side. Let's lower to the knees. As you inhale, take your left toes up to the ceiling. We're finding that tiger pose again. So big bend in the left knee, squeezing up the glute a little bit to lift that back leg. If you're feeling it, let's engage the core a little bit more. Keep the left arm and the shoulder exactly in place. They're staying strong. Look back towards the right shoulder, reach back, maybe bend the knee a little bit more so you might be able to catch the outside of that foot. Kick the foot back into the hand and think about drawing up, feeling the sense of buoyancy and lifting up through your heart space, opening your right shoulder. Neck long, gazing wherever it's comfortable to gaze in your body. One more breath. Carefully exhale, release the hand back, release the foot rather, hand back to the ground, tuck your knee into your chest and try and step your left foot to the top. Remember, you can step the left foot around the front hand a little bit to get there. Lift your back knee, step in a little warrior one. We're going to rise on up to stand. Take a moment to get settled. If you needed to readjust, feel free. And what I find in warrior one is sometimes we end up on a bit of a tightrope. So the legs are right in line with each other. So feel free to walk them a little bit wider on your train tracks if you're feeling wobbly. Front toes forward, back toes diagonally forward, arms to the sky. Another breath in here. Exhale, cactus arms, draw them back and down. Inhale, straighten back up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, straight back up. Last one will stay. Exhale to cactus. Find a little more ease as you inhale, soften the face. Exhale, release your hands to your lower back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, roll open your heart, shoulders back and down. Exhale, fold forward, humble warrior. Slide your chest just inside that left knee if you can. Keep the legs really strong, pressing through both feet and allowing the hands maybe to float to the air in that interlaced position if it feels okay. Still breathing. One more breath. And as you're ready to exhale, release your fingers, take it back, downward facing dog, little tuck of the back toe to step your way back. On the inhale, roll your way into a plank through a little rounded back until you reach that strong position. Exhale, lower to the ground. Remember, knees or toes is fine. At any point you could swap options to find the most appropriate in your body. Inhale, cobra of your choice. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to take a little break. Take your knees nice and wide. Bring your big toes to touch behind you and slide your hips back to your heels to your wide-legged child's pose. Your hands might just be resting forward towards your mat. And just feel what you feel with your breath. Is it a little bit elevated? Is it a bit labored? Our breath tells us so much about where we're at. So it's super helpful to take these pauses. Take stock. Know you can always pause the video. You can always take a gentler option, take a rest whenever you want. Remind yourself of that intention. I'm treating myself with compassion. One more breath. And then as you're ready to inhale, let's find downward facing dog. Now, if down dog feels a little bit too much, just come back to hands and knees at any point. If you're feeling you want to try your down dog here, we're going to come on up. And on the inhale, take your right foot up to the sky, three-legged dog. Keep the hips square, push the floor away. As you exhale, bring your right knee through the middle and try and step the right foot to the top of the mat. Don't worry if you don't quite make it, you can help it through. We will plant the back foot for warrior two, windmill open your arms. So your warrior two, we want to now have the right toes facing forward, but the left toes to the side of the room. Arms might come open to a T shape. We want to spread the front toes, grip through the feet, and then push out through the outside blade of your back foot. Try to lift the arch. If you've got lovely flat feet like me, it won't look like you're doing anything, but there is some effort going on under those feet. Keep the arms out wide, maybe look over your front middle finger. And as you're ready to inhale, straighten, sort of stretch the right side body forward, right hand forward. Then bring your right elbow to your knee, left arm all the way overhead, extended side angle. Now, top arm's totally optional. If your shoulder's a little bit sore, maybe just hand to hip. But if you're feeling that the shoulder's okay, you could flip the top palm to face down. Take another breath here. Keep that nice left shoulder open. And as you inhale, sweep the left arm back and your right arm up to the sky, reverse warrior. Nice and tall through your spine. Exhale, windmill your hands around to the floor. Step on up to the top of your mat. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your hands up high to the sky. Connect your palms, exhale down into center. Relax into mountain pose for a moment. Hands are down. So we're going to come into our balance in a moment. So just ground yourself where you want to stand for your balance. Sometimes it's easier stepping off the mat if you know that you get a bit wobbly on the sponginess of your mat. And then from here, we'll bring hands to hips just to begin. We're going to bring the weight into the right foot and take a little quad stretch to begin. So hold that left foot and we'll gently bring that left knee next to the other one and heel in towards your buttock. You might like to find a little steady spot ahead of you. You can keep looking at for stability. And then option just to stay here, or we might transition into a little play with our dancer's pose. So if you want to try this one, you could keep the hand where it is, or you could experiment if it's possible to bring your backhand into the inside of your back foot. Your inner elbow will then point outward. You can see if this works. If not, just go back to the original grip. Bring your right arm up into the sky. Maybe stay here, or think about pushing your left knee back. Now try to use the muscular strength, so if you let go, you're still lifting that left knee back, but with your hand into that foot, you might be able to kick a little bit harder and lift up even higher. So you're just exploring the range of motion here in your own spine, opening the left shoulder maybe. It's not really about how perfect you look. There is not really one perfect version of this. But just notice what muscles are being used. 2 more breaths. And gradually come on back to mountain pose. Maybe a nice little burn in those ankles or one of the ankles and the calf. Any little shake or roll out you need there. Notice if there is any little internal dialogue popping up and judging you for wobbling. Just knowing we all have those moments. And maybe allowing that little bit more compassion to come back in as you settle back to mountain pose. On the next inhale, sweep your hands up high to the sky. Connect the palms, bring them through center as you fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step straight back to downward facing dog, and we're going to find our way to the other side. We'll inhale, left leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Keep the hips square. Exhale, look to the top where you want to step. Bring the left foot through between your hands. Maybe help it through with your other hand. Plant your back foot, warrior 2, as you're ready. And take a moment. You're welcome here to readjust your feet, reset from the ground up. Left toes turn forward. Right toes facing the side of the room, or very slightly turning the big toe towards the front. So you'll see where you feel steady. Spread the front toes, ground down through both feet. Gaze over your front middle finger. And as you're ready for your next inhale, stretch the left arm forward. Side body is stretching until you bring your left elbow to your knee, right arm overhead, if it's comfortable to be overhead. And really think about powering up that right foot. You're thinking about the stretch all the way from the outside of your right foot to the top of your right fingertips. We're not dumping into the shoulder and creating all these crunches and creases in the shoulders. We're really light through the left elbow so that we're using the strength in the side of your body, side of your abs. Legs are strong. Last breath. You got it. As you inhale, sweep your left arm up to the sky, right hand just resting down on the back leg. Legs exactly as they were before, but we're stretching tall through the left hand. Exhale, windmill your hands down to the ground. Step on up to the top. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your hands up high to the sky. Connect your palms, exhale down into center. Nice. We'll take a little break. Relax your arms, shoulders back and down. And we'll find our way into a balance on the left foot. So hands back to your hips as we did before. Again, maybe you can find some little corner of the wall in front of you to look at that's not going to move. Weight into your left foot. Lift up your right foot. See if you could hold behind for that quad balance. And we're pulling gently the right heel to your buttock. And you can just enjoy this. And maybe you're even just using a wall today if you're feeling like, oh, just not your day for stabilizing in that standing foot. We're just building that strength up slowly. So feel free to use a little wall if you really need. No dramas. Option to stay here, or possibly think about flipping the grip around to the inside of the back foot. Again, just an option. You could keep it where it was already. Rise up your left hand, and maybe you're building on a little bit further, going a little bit deeper. Draw the right heel, not the heel, the knee back behind you into the S. Squeeze up that right glute. Kick the foot into the hand to maybe give you slightly more openness through the right shoulder. Little bit more opening through the front of your body. Taking a few breaths. See if you're holding your breath. We often do it when it gets challenging or we're thinking a lot. So 2 more breaths as you are. And take it on down, mountain pose. Feel free to roll out, to shake out. Anything you want to do, just to get back to neutral, and we'll come back to mountain pose. Pausing there in the center, grounding through your feet. Settle your breath. Just observe as the breath is naturally going to be changing as you stay in stillness. And we're going to find one little final challenge of balance just to come down to the floor. So we're going to spread those toes out nice and strong, and then lift up your heels and rise your hands up into the sky. Squeeze up through your quads, your glutes, lift a little taller. And then when you're ready, we're going to bend the knees and lower the hands to the floor at the same time, keeping up on the toes if you can. And if this does not agree with your knees, please come down a different way. But eventually we'll find our way to a little crouch. You can sit back. And we're finding our little butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. So we'll have the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Take a moment if you did need to sort of sit up a little taller, pull some flesh away from the buttocks, ground yourself so then you can elongate through the crown of your head. Take a breath in here. And notice on the exhale if you want to take it down a little bit. So maybe you're just inching forward, keeping the heart open for a little bit as you start to fold. And then notice when you kind of reach that edge point and you want to completely roll forward and fold into it. And again, your hands are just wherever they're comfortable to rest. You're not pulling or squeezing or striving your way into it. Just breathing. Three more breaths. And As you're ready for the next inhale, slowly bring yourself back upright. We'll bring those knees in like we're closing a book, and we'll come on down to our back. So just rolling back to tuck your knees in towards your chest. Again, maybe a little rock side to side, a little massage for your sacrum, that little spot in the middle of your lower back. From here, we'll take a nice supine twist. So we'll stretch out the left leg, keep the right knee in. Give your hips just a tiny little scooch to the right, and then take that right knee over and across your body to the left. You may like to open your right arm to a cactus arm again, or just out to the side. Anchor through this right shoulder. So don't worry if the knee is not on the ground, that's fine. Your foot could just be hanging wherever it's fallen. You could also bend the knee a bit more and put the top of the toe on your leg. So you might find what feels better. Option to turn your gaze over the right shoulder and really feel this anchoring down. But just choose where your head and your neck are comfortable. And then feeling the full capacity of your breathing coming back as you stay here for another 2 to 3 breaths. On the next inhale, draw yourself back up to the center. We will switch those legs, so you might need to get yourself back into center, left knee in, right leg out. Scoot your hips to the left just a little, and then take that left knee across your body. Option to open out your left arm to your cactus arm or a nice T shape. And then maybe you gaze over the left arm, maybe you tuck the toe onto your leg, your left toe to your leg, or maybe you leave it out. See what feels comfortable for this side. And just settling in, noticing your breath kind of settle into the shape the longer you stay. Taking around 3 or so breaths. And as you're ready to inhale, let's find our way back up to the center. Scooching yourself back to the middle, you could draw your knees into your chest. We're going to come into a little happy baby here before Shavasana. So we'll open out the knees, and a few different options. You could just slide your hands down inside towards your legs somewhere and let the knees be open. And maybe you're just going to stay like this, like a little upside down butterfly. Soles of your feet could even be coming together. Or option to bring it into that happy baby shape. So it doesn't matter where your hands are so much, but opening out your feet. So you're sort of dorsiflexing the feet, soles of the feet point up. And again, you could just hold top of your knees, behind your knees, or if you do feel it's easy enough to reach the outside of your feet, you could try that. But try not to kind of strain and use your shoulders and neck a lot. So if that's the case, just see if you can inch it down a bit and settle in wherever feels soft and gentle in your neck. Another 1 or 2 breaths. Maybe just allowing your body to tell you when it's ready to lower out of this shape. Coming into our final Shavasana, your final resting pose. And you are more than welcome to lay just completely flat here on the ground. Again, you could come back as you began if you found it more comfortable to bend the knees and knock them in. Or you can also place a little something, a roll blanket or a bolster under your knees if that's comfortable. So just settle yourself into your Shavasana. And as you're coming in here, I'm going to read a little poem, and then I will leave you in those precious moments of quietness for a couple of minutes. So just reminding yourself there's absolutely nothing you need to do in Shavasana. There's no possible way you could get it wrong. And sometimes it feels really easy to tap into that quietness and stillness. Other times it feels a little bit challenging. But either way, we are practicing this art of being rather than doing. So I'm going to read this poem and then I will leave you in these precious moments of quietness. I'll let you know when we're going to come out of Shavasana as well, so you don't need to worry about the time going by too much. All right, the poem is called Open by Dana Folds. Nothing to wall out or hold in. Open like the wide sky at twilight. Open as the ocean or the reach of the unknown. Open as a heart that chooses not to close. Finding a little movement in your fingers and your toes. And just gradually reawakening that sense of awareness of your body on the mat, sounds in your environment, perhaps Perhaps letting a little rock of your head and any little ripples of movement come into your ankles or your wrists. And then eventually you might feel ready to draw your knees in towards your chest. So you're just holding into a little ball shape. And then you could just roll to one side to gradually press up to a seated position. And there's no rush at all, just taking your time. Once you arrive, you could bring your palms to touch together in Heart Center Anjali Mudra. Bow your head gently and bring the thumbs into your sternum and right into that space at your heart. You might come back to your intention for today. I am treating myself with compassion. Notice if this is something you'd like to carry with you as you leave the mat today. And then seeing if you can offer yourself a little moment of gratitude and thankfulness that you created the time for your practice of yoga today. And thank you for joining me in today's practice of yoga together. I'll see you next time, friends.